You are welcome to another beautiful day. It's actually our English class, and today we'll be concentrating on our English practice book for reading and writing. So we welcome you all as we proceed to our lesson for today. Today we'll be taking our lesson from lesson 1, page 6 and 7. This is the topic for discussion today. We are going to talk about comprehension. That is our topic. So what is this comprehension all about? Definitely before we move into the discussion properly, we will have to look into what the discussion and what the topic is, what it means. But before then, we will take a look at our objectives for the studies today. Okay? Now, our lesson objectives are, we have 2 lesson objectives for today, and it is to be able to read simultaneously, mentally interact, and construct meaning from the text. What do I mean by these objectives first? This is what we want you to learn at the end of today. You should be able to read simultaneously. You should be able to reason mentally. You should be able to mentally interact. You mentally interact within yourselves or among your fellow mates about what the comprehension is all about. The text you read, what it's all about, and construct meaning from the text. So we have the next objectives, which says to help students develop the knowledge, skills, and become independent readers. Our priority is not just to let you learn how to read and write, but to make sure you develop that knowledge, that skill that you need so you can be able to compete with your other mates outside. Okay? So we'll continue with today's lesson. This is our lesson properly. So what we do now is to remain focused. Don't let anybody distract you as we go along with our lesson for today. Now we talk about what is comprehension. As I told you earlier, we cannot start this lesson without finding the meaning of comprehension. So comprehension in a simple terms, in a simple way, it means the ability to understand something. When you look at a thing, you should be able to understand the meaning of that. If you are reading a story, you should be able to understand the meaning of what you are reading. That is all about comprehension. Comprehension means the ability to comprehend, ability to understand something. Okay? So let's go along in this lesson. Let's understand it very well. We are going to talk about reading comprehension. Now, in reading comprehension, it helps you think. It helps you think. Your minds are open to so many thoughts. What is the writer saying? What style of writing is this? Where is the writer taking me to? What does the writer want me to understand? That is what we say reading comprehension helps you to think using titles. First, once you see the title of what you are about to read, you begin to think about the meaning. You begin to think about what would the story be like. The table of content. This is the table of content because you want to know what is coming before what or what is coming afterwards, Then, and chapter headings. The chapter headings helps you locate more information in expository text. This expository text is all about analyzing, describing, explaining. It explains the text better for you to understand. I hope you understand what Miss Patience is saying. Let's continue with the lesson for more understanding. Now I'm going to give you an example. This example will help you understand comprehension. I'm bringing in fiction into it. We are not talking about fiction today. This is not literature, but we are talking about comprehension. But I'm bringing this topic for you to be able to understand the lesson properly. So now this is fiction. Now, what is this fiction all about? I will guide you along as proceed in the lesson. So we go on. Look at this picture very well. This picture is telling a story. So what could this picture represent? Let's see what this fiction have to do in this picture. So let's see what it is all about. Look at the text down. Can you read along with me, patients? The 3 in my class is my class teacher. Hello. The 3 in my class is my class teacher. Is this correct? Can a 3 be a teacher in a class? This is fiction. It helps you. Fiction is all about imagination, something that is not real. So now let's explain more about this fiction. We say, this is not true. This cannot be true. It's a fiction. It is not real. Are you understanding this little story? Or this little paragraph? The 3 in my class is my class teacher. This is not true because it's fiction. Okay? So we move further. We say, is a make-believe. That's why I say it's not real. You are thinking, you want to assume that the 3 can be a teacher, but the 3 is not a teacher. Okay? So it is a make-believe. Then the last one to go for this very fiction, we say it could not really happen. This cannot happen because it is not real. Now, with the story, you will be able to understand where the writer is taking you. You'll be able to comprehend. That's why we call it comprehension. You'll be able to comprehend that this is a fiction. It is not a real story. Like we said, it could not really happen. Hello? You understanding the lesson now? Let's continue. So please pay attention because I'll be asking you questions at the end of the lesson. Okay, we'll move to the next slide to know what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about how to answer comprehension questions. How to answer comprehension questions. We don't just want you to read and walk away. We want you to be able to read, comprehend, and equally answer the questions correctly from the text. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you 5 tips on how to answer comprehension question. It will help you a lot. Now we'll go to the first one. We'll say, before you start your comprehension, you have to read the question first. The first thing you do is to go back, read the questions. When we read the questions, the second step is you have to unpack the questions. What do we mean by unpack the question? This has to do with analyzing. You analyze the questions. You categorize the question in one particular category, okay? You have to discover what could be the questions. You have to unpack them. Don't worry about this. I will still tell you more about this in the next slide after we finish the 5 tips here. Now, number 3 says, read the text. Read it again. When you have read the questions, you unpack the questions by categorizing them. Then you read the text again. It will help you give you a clue to these very answers to the questions you've already unpacked. Now we'll move to the 4th one, which says read again for evidence and techniques. Now, what is this evidence? I will tell you more about all this when we read our short story. Okay? You have to read for evidence, like what they're trying to say here is what happened. What happened in the story? What was it? Like if you want to fix in the 5 W's, the who, the when, the what, the why, it will help you find evidences to the questions that will be asked or that is asked. Now the last one among the ways to comprehend, among how to answer comprehension question is answer the questions. By the time you've put this 1, 2, 3, 4 together, now you'll be able to answer the question because you've already gone back to read the text again to provide the answers to the question. So now we'll move into the comprehension itself, now the short story for our lesson today. Now, this is the instruction, the direction. It says, read the short story below and answer the following questions. We are going to read a short story and then answer the following questions. Now, look at this person. You should be able to start thinking now, what is this person up to? What is it doing? You look at the title. It says, going on a trip. So, who is going on a trip? When you've seen the title, what you should do is, you go back to what I told us before we brought this short story up. We said ways on how to answer comprehension questions. You go back and read the questions. What is the question the writer is asking? By the time you read the questions, you come back again to unbox the questions. Now we have here, going on a trip. Let's read the story together so we understand what it's all about. Tom is going on a trip to the mountains. Tom needs to bring his bag. He opens the bag and puts a toothbrush, a map, a camera, a book, and boots. Tom closed the bag, but the bag cannot close. Tom takes the boots out of the bag. He puts them on his feet. Snap, snap. Now the bag can close. Tom is ready to go. Now, what are the questions that should be unboxed here? I already have them in red ink. That is why I said, but what is missing out? First, you will think, why is this bag here? Bring his bag. So what is in the bag? So what it will be in this bag will be your evidence. In the former slide I showed you on how to answer questions in number 4, they said you have to provide evidence. So anything that will be in this bag is part of the evidence. You see the reason why it is actually good. You read the questions, you come back to the test, and you go back to the question again. So here we are talking about unboxing unpacking questions. We're talking about unpacking the questions. Now, you have to underline the break his bag. So I just underlined the bag. Then we'll go further. We'll move down to the bag cannot close. So you should be asking, why is this bag not able to close? We have the bag. He brought the bag. Now the bag cannot close. So why? You move down and you now say, the bag can close. So it means there was a time he brought a bag, there was a time the bag did not close, there was a time the bag finally closed. You understand? So all the questions you need, you've answered it in by unboxing them. You have this here, you have this here, you have this. They belong to the same category, okay? They belong to the same category. So here, when you have all this, you can now go to your questions to answer them again. So we move to our activity for the day. We'll move forward to our activity for the day. So I have to take my duster. So I need you to pay attention. So you'll be able to do other comprehensions yourself. I took number 5, question 5, from the questions in your English writing practice book for reading and writing. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, you will do it by yourself. It is a little bit easier. This is easy too, but I just want to help us do it so we understand what we are talking about. Now, what was Tom's problem? Remember, he had his bag. Remember, the bag was unable to close. So this is what unpacking helps you do. It helps you put all the things in one place so that when you go to the question back again, you will be able to remember, and that will help you provide answers to it. So what was Tom's problem? Is his problem late? Was he late? Was that the problem? He cannot close the bag. Was that the problem? He lost his wallet and bag. Was that the problem? No. The problem is B. So I'm circling B, or if you want, you put a check on it. This is the problem of Tom. He cannot close the bag. That is his problem. So we'll take the second question, which is number 6, and I will do the answer for you. What did he do to solve his problem? There was a problem, and now there is a solution. So you remember, while we were trying to unpack the questions, down below, we saw that finally the bag closed. So why did the bag close? We are going to find out now. He takes out the boots and wears them on his feet. He takes out all of his things and slept. He called his mom and asked for help. Was that flu? Now the answer here, the correct one is A, which is he takes out, or he took out the boots and wears them on his feet. Because it's already past, I'm trying to use the past tense for it. This is done. So now he takes out the boots and wears them on his feet. When the boot was in the bag, it was difficult to close. It was difficult to zip close. But now, when he removed the boot from the bag was less, and then he was able to close it. And that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed this lesson so far. Now, this is our conclusion. This is our conclusion. Our conclusion is just our recap to remind you of all we've done this afternoon, or this morning rather. Now, this is our conclusion. Did you remember all that we learned today? Of course, but I will give you a recap. We talked about what is comprehension, that I explained that is the ability to understand something or comprehend something, or being able to understand what you've read or what the text is all about. How to read and understand. So we gave you some tips. We said by using titles, by using, by using headings, then contents, and all that will provide you this very answer. Then the last one we talked about is how to answer comprehension questions, which will give you the 5 tips about unpacking, about providing evidence, about reading the text, reading the questions all over again, or going back to read the questions and all that. And I want to say thank you so much. This is where we've come to the end of our lesson. And I have my smiling face saying, good job, you did very well. And I want to say thank you for being a wonderful student. I appreciate. So please, do have a wonderful day, and always remember to keep safe. That is it from Miss Patience. I will see you next week in our next class. Have a wonderful day. Bye.